Yeah, welcome back to the Firehouse. For some more Firehouse reasoning on the brink of the new year as it was. You know what I mean? I think they say it's 2030 next year, as according to them. You know, I don't know how men come about, how they decide what year it is. I don't know who was counting the number of days since they at first begin. You know what I mean? But men have a way of deciding what year it is anyway. So it's a new year. So I reckon that a new year will bring a new teaching for the new year. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think humanity need a new way. So it is the duty of the fire master to teach the teaching of the new way. You know what I mean? Now, there is two teachers. Did you know that man was a teacher? Oh yes, man is a teacher himself, you know. But man is only a teacher of knowledge. Yeah. We learn knowledge of each other. Because we are very knowledgeable beings. Man has always been the teacher of knowledge. You know what I mean? But like I tell you before, you don't have to be moral to teach knowledge. And obviously men are not moral. But they are teachers of knowledge anyway, if you know what I mean. But knowledge is not the only thing that you are supposed to learn in this life, if you know what I mean. But because knowledge is the pursuit of men and women. When I say man, take it that I mean woman as well. Because knowledge has chiefly been the pursuit of men, because that's what men do. They are knowledge seekers. And I'm not saying that knowledge is a bad thing, but like you know, things must be balanced. You know what I mean? So what happens when you have a group of humans who are hell-bent on pursuing knowledge? Well, what you're going to have, like I say, is an imbalance within the system. You see what I mean? Because now knowledge has taken over. And knowledge now is the one who's deciding how everything works and what year it is and where God is and knowledge is deciding everything. But like you've seen, changing over into the new year, knowledge has actually lead you into a state of confusion if you look across your planet. You know what I mean? Knowledge is plentiful. He's everywhere, teaching everyone. You know what I mean? But what is knowledge actually doing with his knowledge? He doesn't bring any peace about. Simply because, like I tell you, man is ignorant. You know? When he just pursues, not that he's ignorant, but when he becomes overbalanced with knowledge, he becomes an ignorant being. You see? And we learn most of our learning from this ignorant being. Because we are all relying on knowledge. You know, that we can learn from each other. And obviously, because knowledge is such a selfish kind of a man, he's always hiding some of his knowledge, you know, keep it secret, because he don't want others to benefit from the knowledge that he knows. You know what I mean? And he likes to write down his knowledge, you know, in books, whatever he writes, because that's all man know, you know. It is knowledge. So he likes to store up all this knowledge. And like I say, all this knowledge that he has learned, or his ancestors has learned before him. Like I say, I don't know how long the earth has been running and how long the spirit of men have been manifesting upon the planet earth. That is God's business, but it's a long time anyway. And he's had a lot of knowledge over the centuries, and he's got even more now knowledge. And yet still he cannot find a peaceful way to coexist with his fellow human being, because he's hell-bent on keeping secret from them. So it looked like even though he's the teacher of knowledge, he refused to teach the knowledge that he knows to others, keeping it secret, you know what I mean, and ending up into all kind of negative behavior because of the selfishness of the knowledgeable man. Collectively, the most knowledgeable nations are the most ignorant and backward. Not because the knowledge that they know is no good, but because Mr. Knowledge has used it for the wrong purpose. And knowledge will never understand itself or how to apply knowledge correctly until he actually know who the teacher is. Because it's not knowledge alone in this universe, you know. It's actually the Governor General, I like to call the High Masters, is actually wisdom. Now, it is not man. You hear what I'm saying carefully, you know. This is a 9th level firehouse teaching to the souls of beings. Understand? It is not men teach men knowledge, but it is not man who teach man wisdom, if you know what I mean. Paradoxically, that is. You see what I mean? So you can learn knowledge from men. And you should, because men are knowledgeable. Yeah, man. Some man knows some good knowledge. You know what I mean? And it is good that you should go and learn this knowledge from them. But at the end of the day, you should still realize that whatever man is teaching you, which is knowledge, not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It is still not wisdom. Because man cannot teach wisdom. Fancy that, eh? So if man cannot teach this wisdom, imagine a man is telling you that, yeah, that men can teach you knowledge. Eh? But yet this same man cannot teach you wisdom. Well, I wasn't the one that set the paradox, you know. My master, the terrible and dreadful overlord, that set this paradox. I think the master of paradoxes, if you know what I mean. So the paradox in this one, like I'm telling you, man is the teacher of knowledge. You can go all about the earth. Those of you who love knowledge, you read a lot of men writing about their knowledge in whatever field, scientific, religious as they call it. Whatever you read out there, you are reading there. That is what Mr. Knowledge has gathered over the whatever you want to call it. You know, he's got a lot of knowledge stored up, some hidden, some he reveal as according to his selfishness or what he desire at any particular time. Because that's what you become when you become over, what you say, imbalance with knowledge. But here the teaching is not really about Mr. Knowledge, you know. Because you find that Mr. Knowledge is a man that needs correction. You see, because he's dangerous to the universe. I would say, yeah, man. No, I wouldn't say the universe. Forget about that one. Let's just say he's dangerous to the planet Earth. Mr. Knowledge. And then knowledge is such a nice thing. This is what I can't understand. Because, knowledge is good, but I say, when you become imbalanced, well, anyway, forget about Mr. Knowledge. Because he cannot teach you what you need to know. You have to find Mr. Wisdom. Because Mr. Wisdom now is actually the teacher of Mr. Knowledge. If you know what I mean. If Mr. Knowledge, right, would only come under the guidance of Mr. Wisdom, then whatever knowledge he discovered within the creation of the terrible and dreadful God, then he would use it in the correct way under the guidance of Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. But I don't know what is the matter with man. It can be seen clearly why he's end up in the disaster that he's end up in, And this, I call it a depraved kind of life that they live here on earth. Simply because Mr. Knowledge has entrenched itself in the psyche of these beings. And Mr. Knowledge must have done everything it can to camouflage the fact that actually he's not the one that runs things within the universe, if you know what I mean. Not the negative side anyway, they both run things, knowledge and wisdom, but not when, put it this way then. You see the way like how knowledge can become imbalanced and lose its way. You see what I mean? That don't happen to wisdom. Wisdom never become unbalanced. If you know what I mean. Can't become like that. But Mr. Knowledge can become imbalanced. And the only way to correct the imbalance within Mr. Knowledge is for you to discover the antidote, which is Mr. Wisdom. Yeah, Mr. Wisdom. Now, if wisdom exists, Mr. Wisdom exists. Because we're not talking fairy story. Fire Lion never talk fairy story. I like to deal with things like I say, like 1,000,000% certain. So I am definitely lots of percentage certain that Mr. Wisdom is not a fiction of my imagination, if you know what I mean. But that Mr. Wisdom actually exists for real and is the antidote for all this confusion that has been brought about by the ignorance of Mr. Knowledge, if you know what I mean. And the only cure, there's only one cure, It's not like say, you could try this and try that. Like you see, no matter what they try here on the planet, no matter what amendments, that cannot cure the patient. If you know what I mean. Because the wrong antidote is being applied. It never fix the problem, by, making treaties here and there and everywhere and all that. You know what I mean? That will not fix the problem. Mr. Knowledge cannot fix anything. He is not the fixer within the universe. If you are not the fixer, it would be something like the moon trying to shine sunlight, It doesn't work. So Mr. Knowledge is not the fixer. Wisdom is the fixer within the universe, bringing order to all things. You see what I mean? Governor General. So this Governor General, like I'm saying, if you want your problem solved here on earth or within yourself, any problem that you have at all, Rastafari, it's a fact, 100%, lots of billion% certain, that anything that you are suffering from, mental illness, disease, anything that is infected you, that Mr. Knowledge has brought upon your psyche and has infected you, now I'm telling you that there's a way that you can fix this easily. And you can fix it without consulting Mr. Knowledge, because he's not the one who is the teacher of wisdom, if you know what I mean. Nothing to do with him. You know, if you decide that, yes, I will go and consult Mr. Wisdom and see what Mr. Wisdom have to say on the matter of earth living, on the matter of all this knowledge and what Mr. Knowledge has been informing me of how I should be as a human being, how I should live. I am telling you, Mr. Wisdom have a different message for you. Because you've been deceived by Mr. Knowledge in it. He's becoming balanced, like I'm telling you. He's puffed up on pride and ignorance and greed and selfishness, jealousy, hate, and blind totally. That's what happened to knowledgeable beings. You know what? And then they teach others about their own ignorance. And others will follow them as long as you are not in touch with Mr. Wisdom. And believe me, it's not as if one have to travel anywhere to find Mr. Wisdom or behave in any elaborate way, like I say, like performing any idiotic ritual. You know what I mean? This is not wisdom is not knowledge. So the way that you're behaving when you're seeking some particular knowledge, I don't know what knowledge you're seeking. And you're behaving somewhere and you're going on somewhere doing whatever you're doing. Now, when you come to seeking Mr. Wisdom, you put all those silly rituals away, you know what I mean? Nothing to do with any silly ritual. You locate Mr. Wisdom, like I tell you, by cease from doing what you know in your own being is wrong. Whatever that is. Because whatever it is in your being that is wrong, you yourself know already. I don't have to tell you. All I have to tell you is that whatever it is, yeah, that you are doing. Don't forget I'm talking planetary wise. You see what I mean? Mr. Wisdom is a man that don't deal with any what we call segregated thing within the universe. You know what I mean? Deal with a level that is far above Mr. Knowledge anyway. You know what I mean? So wherever you are on the planet, you yourself must know whatever it is that you are doing in that is wrong. You will know within your own being. You know what I mean? Because don't forget, you are not visible. We are invisible beings here. You understand? I don't know. Mr. Knowledge probably don't know this one. He probably don't tell you. But Mr. Wisdom will let you know this one. That we are invisible beings. Hence the fact that a lot of us are camouflaging. Because no one can see our little, dirty soul, the true nature of who you are within yourself. If I could see you or anyone could see you when you approach them, you know what I mean? How dirty are your little evil deeds that you was going to perform? You know what I mean? But here you are camouflage, as it was. When knowledge drunk people, they think that they're camouflage. But if you get to know Mr. Wisdom, you will see, Mr. Wisdom will show you that in the universe here, you cannot actually hide anything. If you think you are alone in yourself, they're hiding in the dark. No, but Mr. Wisdom is right behind you, watching you. I'm telling you. Every human being that has ever come out of woman. Mr. Wisdom, the High General. And you know, I don't know, you know who Mr. Wisdom is. Mr. Wisdom is wise about everything, you know. Wise about knowledge, wise about everything. Mr. Wisdom know everything. Without, like I say, because we live in a, you don't forget what I'm saying, we live in a positive and a negative, you know. We live in a seen and unseen, if you know what I mean. So Mr. Knowledge have a way of running the scene, if you know what I mean. While behind the scene it is it's really Mr. Wisdom that run the whole show, if you know what I mean. Up front here you have Mr. Knowledge, like I say, has him now imbalanced the system by being chasing knowledge to the fullest, and has encouraged the other human beings to be knowledgeable instead of wise. If you know what I mean. So I'm giving you a message now, and it is time for you now, right? To instead of the amount of time that you spend seeking out knowledge in your university, wherever you're seeking out the knowledge, seeking for knowledge for a while, and seek wisdom. When you find this wisdom now, go back to seeking your knowledge. How do you think about that? You say, have a vacation away from this mad rush for seeking knowledge. Yeah? Take a break. Go on a vacation. Yeah? And seek out Mr. Wisdom. And then when you find Mr. Wisdom, right, go back to seeking out knowledge and see what happens. Huh? Whatever you find out, then you know what you will do. Then you will use it for what? For the wisest of purpose. Instead of for the most knowledgeable of purpose. That's what you are doing now. Huh? You like being the most knowledgeable, do you? Hey, that's some man like to say, oh yes, that man is very knowledgeable. You know, he is a historian and all that. And, you have all kind of great men of knowledge. Oh yeah, they are studying their... But the thing about Mr. Wisdom now, like I say, you don't have to be very knowledgeable. Mr. Wisdom don't care how much knowledge you've got. What you know about the great civilization and who was the greatest king on earth and all that. And Mr. Wisdom don't care whether you actually know anything about those kind of knowledge, if you know what I mean. Because to Mr. Wisdom, those they are not relevant. Knowledge is not relevant unless it's applied under the guidance of wisdom. So Mr. Wisdom don't actually pay any attention to anybody glorifying themselves, saying that they are very knowledgeable. You know what I mean? Because he knows that knowledge can warp the minds of selfish beings, if you know what I mean. And obviously it's not, like I say, it's not hard to find selfish beings here on earth who have become intoxicated by this knowledge. But like I'm saying, you know, we are supposed to be finding Mr. Wisdom. And Mr. Wisdom, like I'm saying, is located right there within thy own being. One don't have to travel, you know, to find Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. One don't have to perform any like I tell you, rituals, behave in any way different. All one have to do is to be honest. Now, why is that so difficult, that human beings can't decide to themselves? The adults I'm talking, that, oh, I'm going to be honest, and I'm really serious about it and live honestly. Just a simple thing. But the funny thing is, if you cannot do that, you will never know who Mr. Wisdom is, will you? What I'm telling you about. Far superior, like I'm saying, to Mr. Knowledge. That's why I say, as an example, as a fire. If those who are knowledgeable, I call them those who are knowledgeable, should test my knowledge against theirs, I would look very, very stupid. Yeah, well, what? You know, I am not a bachelor of arts, or, you know, like I say, I've never even sit and examine what they would, just in normal basic school then. So I have no qualification. I don't know nothing about even inches or meters and none of those. So all those knowledge are beyond my grasp. I reckon my sons are more knowledgeable than me that way. Because that's knowledge. Because anyone can learn this knowledge, innit? But wisdom now, Like I say, I am not knowledgeable then, because I can't test a man when it comes to knowledge, innit? But like I'm telling you, knowledge and wisdom is not the same thing. And you don't learn them from the same source. You learn knowledge from men. So these men who are knowledgeable, other man learn them their knowledge. You understand what I mean? Are they get what you call inspiration about a knowledge that they're pursuing and bring a new knowledge? If you know what I mean. But wisdom now, Mr. Wisdom now, because Mr. Wisdom is not a man. Now you know, like how you can see a man and go and learn from him in school or what you learn from him in books. Because you can see the man. See, oh yeah, man, it's professor, it's Plato, you know, whatever big here, you go and sit at the master and you learn knowledge from this master. Yeah? Well, when you're learning wisdom now, you can't, Mr. Wisdom is not like, Mr. Wisdom is not even visible for that matter. Because he's not in this, well, he is and he isn't, if you know what I mean, a kind of paradox thing. But no one is going to see him, if you know what I mean. And he's with everyone. Fancy that, eh? Mr. Wisdom is with everyone and they don't see him. But anyway, I can tell you, like I say, for lots, I don't, but lots of million, trillion% certain that, yeah, within thy own being there is the Mr. Know-It-All. How did he come to be, this one come to be Mr. Know-It-All? I don't know. I just know that, yeah, he's the one, man. He knows it all. It knows it all, if you know what I mean. So I don't want you to get the idea now that the master of wisdom is actually a man. No, because I find the flex of that one. Like I say, it's a paradox, this one, you know. That he's flexing both in the male and the female, if you know what I mean. Can't be a man that, can it? I can't be a woman either. So like something beyond man and woman, I say. I think Mr. Wisdom is, you know. Yeah, Mr. Wisdom is flexing beyond the ranges of male and female as it was. Yeah, and teaches both male and female. You know what I mean? I think Mr. Wisdom don't have a gender as it was. I say, what is wisdom? I say, oh, it's a woman. It's a man. No, it's beyond both man and woman, Mr. Wisdom. Yeah. Is Mr. Wisdom black? Is he white? No, he's beyond black and white as well. Beyond. Far transcend those kind of simple matters of black and white and male and female, you know what I mean? And what they call it, nations and those little idiocy that you have here on earth. As far as Mr. Wisdom is concerned, this is when you get drunk in idiotic business, you know what I mean? When the soul has become completely contaminated with wickedness and evil and vile behavior and sickness. You know what I mean? Where the soul is, I don't know. The soul is, the soul of Mr. Knowledge has become riddled, like I say, with, I don't even know, some of them don't even look like they could get cured still. Although I know that the antidote, Mr. Wisdom, cure all sickness. But they've gone away so far from themselves, and if you tell them about Mr. Wisdom, they don't want to know. Because right now here on earth, you know, I'm telling you before we transcend into the 2013, right now in the 2012 year, no one do not want to know Mr. Wisdom. No, it's a hostility. If you try and just to explain to beings that Mr. Wisdom is in them, and that they could actually log on to Mr. Wisdom and solve the mysteries of their life and get all the whatever it is that you need. This one will give it to you, because he's the one that have it all. And it's not like say, oh, this is just, like somebody trying to recruit you in a religion and try, say, join us, we know about. No, Mr. Wisdom ain't trying to recruit you into no religion. Mr. Wisdom is trying to recruit you into your own self, so that you can understand your own self and understand who Mr. Wisdom is. Then you can learn how to behave when you learn knowledge, if you know what I mean. But if you don't know who Mr. Wisdom is, you'll never achieve this, you know what I mean. You will live here in confusion, die in confusion, and then you saw, like I say on the other side there, you will be in confusion, innit? And then you'll become transparent, because people will be able to see that you are just full of knowledge. And knowledge, knowledge is selfish and vile and vindictive and devious. You know what I mean? Always, the soul is unhealthy when it's like that. Well, that's what Mr. Wisdom say, and I wouldn't dispute that fact. Don't look like Mr. Wisdom is ever wrong. How could he be if he is wisdom anyway? How can you be wrong? I know that I am not Mr. Wisdom, by the way. I keep repeating, telling people this. Because like I tell you, I cannot be in everyone at once. I'm here. But I know Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. And he's the one that is in everyone at once, performing magic. I don't know how he do it. And I don't even want to try and figure it out. It's just magic, I say. Magical. You know what I mean? That, well, when I find out about Mr. Wisdom, that was funny, because, like I tell you, man cannot teach you about wisdom, if you know what I mean. Only Mr. Wisdom can. The right way that is a man about it. There's some little man out there that they are teachers and grandmasters and all kind of masters teaching, you know what I mean? But they are just imparting knowledge. You see what I mean? Just like me, I'm just imparting knowledge to you. Not wisdom, you know what I mean? Oh no. When it come out of my mouth, it is not wisdom anymore. It is knowledge, crystallized in the atmosphere, I say. You have to go and transform it back. And then you will meet Mr. Wisdom. Alchemy, they call it, that thing, you know what I mean? So I am not Mr. Wisdom. Mr. Wisdom, like I say, Mr. Wisdom is a magician, man. Mr. Wisdom is everywhere present at once, so you don't have to go anywhere to search for Mr. Wisdom. You know what I mean? He's in every place. Forget about, like I say, your little genders and your little color business, man. Far transcendent. Those are the teaching of knowledge. It's knowledge that separates you up into your different countries and race. Knowledge gone, and not good knowledge, knowledge gone crazy, you know, when it's lose itself in ignorance. Yeah, when you lose yourself in ignorance, that's how you live. So, and now Mr. Wisdom is offering you a new way. You know, for you to switch situation. By all you have to do is abandon the silly knowledge that that has been rammed into you by men. You know, because men are not the teachers of wisdom. Or if you never know about wisdom, there is a thing called wisdom, yeah, which is the antidote for knowledge. And when you have this thing, you know how to handle whatever knowledge it is that you are in possession of. You will know how to handle it the right way. Because Mr. Wisdom is the one who knows the right way in the universe, in everything, whatever the thing is. Whatever knowledge, you know what I mean? Whatever knowledge there is in the universe, wisdom knows the laws of knowledge, you know what I mean? Being, like I said, I call him now, man. I can't even find the word. I first call him the fire general then. I am not the fire general, it is the fire general that is beyond. The one that I'm telling you about, you know. I've been telling people about this one for a long time. But none of them can. I don't think you're so wrapped up in knowledge. It's hard to grasp the perception of the terrible and dreadful one. The supreme wisdom master, as it was. You know what I mean? I don't mean supreme here on earth. I mean anywhere in the universe. This one. But because you're so wrapped up in knowledge, and you will not study at the seat of or at the feet of the master, as I would say. That is within thyself, you know. I never say you must come and study at my feet. I was teaching no one. That's what I say. I don't teach anyone. I am not the teacher of human beings, and I don't go around and try and tell them that, oh yes man, I am the teacher of human beings, man. You come to me and I will teach you what there is to know about the one. I always say no. I just show you a procedure, yeah? You just go and live honestly, and the one will teach you about the one, because the one is the teacher. I am not the teacher. Cannot be two teachers in the universe, I say. So, it's best not to be the teacher, but teach about the teacher, if you know what I mean. That's a safer passageway I'm looking out of this predicament that we find ourselves in Firehouse. They say, no, it's best if you teach about the teacher, but never you be the teacher, because you cannot be the teacher. So I said, yeah, that is correct. I am not the teacher, Rastafari, leave it. You see what I mean? The terrible and dreadful one himself is the teacher, if you know what I mean. I just try and guide people to direct them to how they can log on to this one, if you know what I mean. Because I know this one as well myself, personally. So I know that the one is the body standard anywhere in the universe, if you know what I mean. Serious, you know. No, we don't. I like I said, I am. Well, I told you about my disciple. So you know, serious is just serious, for real serious. Don't never ever joke when it comes to these kind of matter of whether Mr. Wisdom exists or not. We can't be guessing up here, if you know what I mean, or hoping or and no whimper. Seriousness do not deal with things like that. Seriousness have to be sure, so that when he come to spit and say, yes, the master is over there, and I know that the master, that means he must be, I said, well seriously know that, to come and utter those words. I said, we don't ramp. Seriousness don't ramp. And fearless as well. So that means that when those disciples tell you that, listen man, the one is there, you know, supreme general, you know. The one is. It ain't a guest business. I don't deal with them like I say, guest business. That's why I don't bother to teach anyone. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't be able to accept the teaching anyway. It would be too drastic and harsh for the soul. You know what I mean? Seriousness. It is too... I reckon if I was a teacher, I'd be too serious. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't be able to take the truth off me. I am too... I say, we out, you know, too fiery. I am too hot for you to accept the truth coming out of my mouth. I say to you human beings. So I tell you what you do then, because I am not the teacher, am I? So I don't feel no way when man don't accept the truth of me. Because who am I? You know, I'm only a full of shit man like any other man. So I don't worry when a man don't accept the truth of me, because I am not the teacher, am I? I tell you who the teacher is. The terrible and dreadful one that is dwelling within thyself here now, Mr. Wisdom. You see what I mean? Known to you that I say you are familiar with the term conscience then, as it was. Known to you as conscience. That one is the teacher. And known to me now as the terrible and dreadful one, Rastafari himself, the High General. You know what I mean? But you can call that one any name you want, you know. Don't think that I'm insisting that you should call this one. I am not insisting anything. That is what I am insisting on, though, is that I am not the teacher. And I have no right to tell anyone what name they should call this teacher, and to dispute with them in any way or form or matter about the name that they want to call Mr. Wisdom, if they should locate Mr. Wisdom themselves, if you know what I mean. Who knows what Mr. Wisdom himself might teach them? Might teach you something different from his teaching me, you know what I mean? Because Mr. Wisdom is full up of wisdom in it. One man cannot contain all that Mr. Wisdom have to teach, you know. Or woman, for that matter, you know. Don't forget what I say. When I say man, females listening, I mean woman as well, instead of saying us beings. One being cannot contain the teaching of Mr. Wisdom. Mr. Wisdom is full up of wisdom, isn't it? So you have all kind of various kind of wisdom that is handed out like a Santa Claus style by Mr. Wisdom. Like he's handing out here now some more wisdom for the new year. Showing you ways and means of getting out of the predicament that your soul is in. And like I say, it's not a nice thing if you should leave the planet with your soul in predicament, innit? And then instead of solving your problem here, you go and deal with your problems. That is not a nice option, if you know what I mean. Not in the eyes of Mr. Wisdom anyway, because life is continuous. So why carry baggage with you when you can empty yourself here? You know what I mean? Clear up things by living to order, if you know what I mean. Because you've got the will and the power and everything. Everything is within thyself. You know, I don't know what it is that you are afraid of. Especially now that you see that Mr. Knowledge have lead you to where he look like he's ready to destroy the place and cause you know what I mean, due to his ignorance and all that. And I'm telling you, you know, Mr. Knowledge is not the one that run things, is it? Knowledge is not the master, innit? If you want to call it, you like a puny human beings then. Because it is you that teach knowledge. You are not the one that run. You're not the power, are you? I'm not the power either, you know, but I know where the power is. I know the one who is the power. And I know it's not you. So, I don't listen to man and his knowledge, you know. Oh, no. Because I know that I will definitely for sure kill him if he's a knowledgeable man. And I am not knowledgeable. Because knowledgeable man don't know Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. Very few. I'm not saying a knowledgeable man could not know Mr. Wisdom, you know, but very few knowledgeable man know Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah. Because Mr. Wisdom, don't forget, like I'm telling you, it's not like say Mr. Wisdom is everywhere, but can you spot him? Mr. Wisdom is even amongst those religious men who are going on with themselves. Criminals, everyone. Mr. Wisdom is with everybody. And yet, very few people notice this. How amazing is that now? That the key to your understanding is with you. And you don't notice this. You live your life and ignore it, and, you know. The reason why this happens is because you've been diverted by Mr. Knowledge to make knowledge your pursuit in life. to fulfill your ambition in the pursuit of knowledge. Whatever that knowledge is, I don't know. But like I'm saying, it's not that the knowledge is a bad thing, but it's that knowledge has convinced you to make it a full-time occupation, to pursue knowledge. Therefore, you imbalance yourself as beings, if you know what I mean. Don't forget, this is not, you know how Mr. Wisdom operates. He doesn't speak to one person, he speaks to everyone, if you know what I mean. So I too try to follow the example of Mr. Wisdom by developing a way of speaking to everyone, if you know what I mean. Black, white, green and blue and everybody. Because according to Mr. Wisdom, they are one. And, which is true. Because Mr. Wisdom don't say nothing that is not true and correct. So they are one. And I know that they one. Mr. Wisdom showed me this clearly. So I know for let say that these beings here that are masquerading themselves and cloaking themselves, hiding themselves with knowledge and in secret society and wherever, underground and everywhere, and is behaving in this kind of way, you know what I mean, are one being, but due to the fact that knowledge has imbalanced their soul, they are lost way down in the bottomless pit there. But as a brother still, I am a brother that swim to the depths. So I will swim to the depths down there in negativity to rescue the brothers, because you're still my brother down there, you know what I mean? It is up to a being to help another being. Wouldn't you say that? Well, I would anyway. I take it that all men are my brothers. And if I see any one of my brothers or sisters in difficulty and I could help them, I should help them, if you know what I mean. And I am saying that I know what is best for all the brothers and sisters, because we one family in it. It's like if we belong to a family and one member of the family become rich, so rich that he could help all the rest of the family. Why wouldn't he not do this unless he was a selfish being? But I and I is not selfish. So I have found a way that all the members of the family that is on this planet can be rich. You know what I mean? And I say, like when people make jokes about, everyone can, as if, I mean for 1 billion, trillion % certain. I mean, I would swear it in front of God, man, angel. Yeah, that this will make, you will be rich. You could not be any richer. There is no richness in the universe greater than the richness that I'm telling you about, that you family members can reach. If you will only, just like I say, get in touch with Mr. Wisdom, which is within thy own self. You know what I mean? This richness will be delivered to you. I say if you were serious, right, within 3 months you will see the richness. If you self-discipline seriously, whatever vice you're doing, and you know in your heart, this is how you do it. You know in your heart that it is wrong. You say, I'm going to stop that wrong behavior. And I'm saying, and then you move on, whatever is. I say within 3 months, you will have encountered this richness that I'm telling you about. Yes, man. Make you very, very rich. But yet now to deliver, like I say, this, no one, like I say, most beings seems to ignore Mr. Wisdom. I don't know if it's maybe they don't realize that Mr. Wisdom is there due to distraction. Like I'm saying, because we live within ourselves, but we have eyes, we're always looking out. And it never, the paradox of life never dawned on us that we could actually look in. Oh yeah, you can look in, but you can only look in when you change whatever it is that you are doing out there. You know, your behavior. That's another paradox how God said it, that to look in properly, the out have to change. You see what I mean? The out have to change. So, because usually you are pursuing knowledge in the out, and that is what is stopping you looking in. So when you change that behavior, it's like a turnaround. It makes you look in, if you know what I mean. When you start to look in, then you will know that the Supreme Master himself, the teacher of all, is within. Himself the High General, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, and then that one himself, because I am not the teacher, that one himself will teach you from thenceforth. And then we can all, right, because that one can teach everyone at once. You know. When we're living under the guidance of that one that I'm telling you about, is peace, isn't it? Because that one is, Mr. Wisdom is peace and harmony and everything, you know. Everything is within that one. So when you link with that one, that is where you find harmony. You can't do it no other way. Anything that you try and hurt here, it ain't going to work, is it? You cannot listen to Mr. Knowledge anymore. Mr. Knowledge don't know. He hasn't got the solution. His heart is not clean enough. He's dirty, vile and wicked. So it's up to you now as beings, as your new year is coming in, yeah, to observe those who are dirty and to stop following them. Change your ways. These people will lead you, like I say, to hell. Mr. Knowledge, all those who are talking about money and ways and means, that is a corrupted evil system. The system that you see here running, ain't nothing good about it. It's a device by Mr. Knowledge. And like I say, not the positive knowledge either, the negative. Those beings who have lost their souls are your leaders. They are your political leaders. They are your religious leaders. These are the ones that you want to start to examine exactly what they're saying. God has given you... Yeah, Mr. Wisdom can give you... Don't call God, man. Mr. Wisdom can give you the intelligence, and he has, to unmask these hypocrites, because he is within thyself. But you are not using Mr. Wisdom. It would be easy to see true religious hypocrisy if you was guided by Mr. Wisdom. You would unmask these fools quickly. And yet it's 2012 and your mind still has not matured to that level. To see these people are hypocrite. You're still revering the Holy Father. The millions of those idiots are still doing that today. And I'm telling you, everything is unholy about the Father. They have too many secrets. Knowledgeable men. That's what they are. They're not. These are not men who was taught by Mr. Wisdom. Otherwise they would be speaking Mr. Wisdom language. But they can't. They have to be, they are repeaters. Repeating what they claim that Peter said, John says, Jesus says. Man is not a robot. Man is a living energy. You're not bound to repeat. Repeaters are deceivers. That's why they keep repeating. You know, and dazzling you. The Pope is dazzling you with stupid ritual, what devilish people do, not godly. Like I say, Mr. Wisdom burn away all those kind of illusion from out of creation. Those kind of souls will have to pay for their deception. True ignorance, not true understanding. True ignorance, they think that they are going to get away with this elaborate deception that they're performing here on earth. You're only making your soul worse, fool. You know, when you stop grinning your stupid teeth and when death comes for you, because you know that death don't care whether you're in St. Peter or wherever you are. I hear Hillary Clinton, she had a blood clot. You should have had a bomber clot. Don't worry, you know what I mean? Oh, for those who are listening in English, it was on the news that Mrs. Clinton had a blood clot and she had to go into hospital over there yesterday. I don't know what day it was. But when I hear the news, because we Jamaican like of course blood clot, ras clot, bomber clot and swear word, I say, what? She had a blood clot, she should have had a bomber clot as well, if you know what I mean. just a little spin on things, if you know what I mean. So a lot of these, over the Christmas day, they says Nelson was in, Mr. Bush was in hospital, Mrs. Thatcher was in hospital. Well, it doesn't matter who is in hospital when you are a high devil. That is getting you anyway. That is your ultimate end. You're not staying here on earth. And when that come arrive for you, yeah, you are going to reap what you sow. Nobody think you're going to go all the time you're here spent living in power, enjoying. I'm telling you, like for 100 billion trillion percent, say, fools like you, yeah, you will enjoy the reception when they remove you from out of the physical. Because you'll pay for every single thing. Nothing, you get away with nothing. Not even one single thing like I tell you, because everything is on your memory, recorded. That will not be destroyed in the crash when death comes for you. Vamp you out, you little idiotic, you know. We'll meet you on the other side, like we say. We can't get to talk face to face now, innit? But because we are from the same gene pool as it was within this time. We'll see you on the other side, you little dirty devils that are masquerading here. And like I'm saying, the people are not willing in their heart to see this, because the people themselves generally are following your negative, dirty ways. They refuse to live good with their fellow man, next door neighbor. You understand? Whoever they is claiming this man is a black man, that man is a Asian man, that man is a white man, this man is a Chinese man. How can you see things like that? That is ignorance. That is what Mr. Knowledge has taught you. You damn fool. You are not supposed to be learning from men. Men are not the teachers in this universe. They are the teachers of knowledge. Yeah, go and learn knowledge from man. But don't try and learn wisdom from man. Man is not the teacher of wisdom. The teacher of wisdom is your conscience. The terrible and dreadful one cannot be taught to you by no one else. That's why I don't try and teach it myself. Otherwise I would have tried and go out and make a living out of teaching. But I don't try and teach no one. I'm not a teacher, am I? I just tell you who the teacher is. The teacher cannot be one man. The teacher is in everywhere in every man. You see what I mean? So you need to get in touch with this teacher within yourself and stop listening to what men are teaching you. All that you're hearing from out the Bible and Quran and whatever other book you claim that a holy book are just the knowledge of men. It's not wisdom, is it? Men accumulate up his knowledge and write it down in book. Mr. Wisdom is not a writer. Transcend writing. When you're dealing with Mr. Wisdom, you have to put away your writing, if you know what I mean. Oh, yeah, you know, because Mr. Wisdom is not a writer. He don't teach you anything about writing. He just teaches you the simple art of wisdom, of how to live honestly and truthfully, and how to love what is right and correct. You see what I mean? That is how one learn about Mr. Wisdom, by loving what is right and correct. If men can love what is evil and what is and power and greed, yeah, lust and sex, because they love those things, make them happy. Why can't anyone love what is right and correct? You can love dogs and animals and whatever and love yourself and all that. So why can't anyone love what is right and correct? Well, some people do, I do. I love what is right and correct and truthful and honest more than anything in the universe. Love it, love it, love it. You see what I mean? Now, why can't other people love that? You see what I mean? But if you don't love something, then you're not going to be good at it, then, are you? Like if those who love what they love are good at what they love. If they love football or whatever it is they love it, innit? And they spend a lot of time loving it and it gives them pleasure. You see what I mean? Because that's what you love. I love what is right and correct, nothing else. So that's what gives me pleasure. Anything else is a displeasure to me. If it's not truthful and honest and right, it's a displeasure to my soul. I do not like it, if you know what I mean. I cannot stand it. I hate those things. I despise those kind of things that are not truthful and honest to the core, if you know what I mean. Serious take those. It have to be 100 billion% honest, truthful, and clean and pure for every human being. That's what I love. You know, more than anything else. Like I say, I don't know about heaven and what is up in heaven and beyond heaven. I don't care about those things. I care about what is truthful and honest. And that's what I love. So because I have that love in my heart, Mr. Wisdom teach me, innit? Because that's what Mr. Wisdom is, if you know what I mean. He love those things. Mr. Wisdom love those things. Because Mr. Wisdom is the heights of those things, the fulfillment of those things, you know what I mean? He's the height of truthfulness and honesty and integrity and all those things, wrapped up into one, in the most purified form, if you know what I mean. So I desire to love that. And I desire to love the ways, not desire to do it anyway. I know what I was thinking, I desire to do it. No, I love the ways of the terrible and dreadful one more than anything else in the whole universe. You know what I mean? Because I know that one. When I never know that one myself, I never say these things because I never know that one. In them part of my life, I was busy doing what I was doing. Drinking, gambling, womanizing. And I never speak about this one and go on about, yes man, I love this one more than how fly love shit and all them things. You know? No, because I never know about the one. But when I was 27, though, I did encounter the one, and ever since then I've been lunatical about the ways of the terrible and dreadful Overlord himself, Rastafari, the High General. Because I know that one, if you know what I mean. And I am telling you for 100%, 1,000,000% certain. There's a lot of percent, man. This is the only one that can teach you and guide you out of the shit that you are in. It is time for you to grow up. Let's imagine that as a race of beings on the planet, we've been growing up over the century. It took us centuries to reach adulthood, if you know what I mean. So a lot of childish things, all the history that has gone before is what happened when we was in childhood state or teenager state. When as a race as a whole, we was irresponsible, if you know what I mean. But now, we have reached maturity. We are no longer teenager, if you know what. And it is time for us to act responsible then. You're not a child anymore. So it's time for you now to get in touch with the one that is within thy own self, so that that one can teach you how to act responsible. So you can stop this childish behavior that you're doing here on earth. You know, mashing up the place. You're not a kid, are you? Killing and murdering, raping, warring. You know, you're not, we are souls. These are the behavior of irresponsible kids. And grant you, when you're young, I can allow those kind of behavior, letting off steam, as it was, like how youngsters do. But what I'm saying, you're not a goddamn youngster now. We've reached maturity. How long can it take a race to reach maturity? Well, I say that we let us move into maturity now. You know what I mean? And if you want to move into maturity, you can only do it when you know, when you get to know that the Mr. Wisdom that is within thyself. You understand what I mean? Now, like I tell you about Mr. Wisdom, you know, this is not no guess or anything like that. Mr. Wisdom is there, directly himself. I am the fire general. I know this. I know these things. Don't worry about how I know them. Like I said before, how I know for a lot of billion, trillion % certain that Mr. Wisdom is within thyself. I don't worry if I say that I am the fire general. I am the enforcer of the will of Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. Mr. Wisdom having a way of not manifesting in the physical form, if you know what I mean. But seek to teach to those who fervently love Mr. Wisdom, if you know what I mean. So that is how I come now to be enforcing the teaching of Mr. Wisdom, having been taught by Mr. Wisdom himself directly, if you know what I mean. So I am very, very certain of, and like I tell you, Mr. Wisdom, having revealed himself to me personally as a fire, oh, that make it even worse. You know what I mean? I will kill anyone within the universe with the teaching of Mr. Wisdom. Not mine. Ain't my teaching, is it? If you know what I mean. Mr. Wisdom was operating even when I was an idiot. Even before I was born. So how could I claim that it was my teaching? That I am firing from Firehouse? If you know what I mean. It is not my teaching. It is the teaching of Mr. Wisdom. Secret dweller within thy own being. And I'm telling you, ain't no way out of this shit unless you locate this one within thyself. I can only, like I say, advise you, human being, my brothers, how to locate Mr. Wisdom by altering one behavior, if you know what I mean. From the negative behavior that you know that you're doing. Stop cheating on your girlfriend, you know. Girlfriend, stop cheating on your boyfriend. Stop lying. Stop hating your next door neighbor. Cut out these negative behavior that you are doing, because this is what is clouding up thy vision, so that one cannot feel the vibration of Mr. Wisdom. You know what I mean? Feel the prompting from within thy own being of Mr. Wisdom. That was Mr. Wisdom is always talking, always prompting you. He's there at any minute. You can turn to Mr. Wisdom for the guidance of thy soul from out of darkness before the terrible and dreadful death come upon thee. I say that is terrible and dreadful. No, man, that is a good thing, man. It's not dreadful, man. But anyway, that's why I love that anyway, because I know that is removing anyone. So that's why the whole reason for the teaching then is in case of not in case, because that is coming up on you. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why people was worried about 2012. Forget about 2012. You're dying anyway, Rasta. You must deal with what is certain, what is sure, what is guaranteed. That's why I only teach about what is certain, what is sure, what is guaranteed. So it is certain, sure, guaranteed that you are going to die. Because no man live on the earth and no must die, boy. You see me? So I only deal with what is certain. So I'm saying before this procedure take place, because who knows when it's going to take place, I am telling you that that you should cease from this idiotic behavior that you've learned of the man of knowledge and get in touch with the master which is within thyself. Now, you might not have been aware that this master has been residing within you and within all. But I am letting you know in this now. And I'm also giving you the keys how you can locate the master. And it's simple. All you have to do is to cease from doing the wrong things that you know that you're doing. Because you know in your own being already the wrongs that you are doing. Forget about hiding it from your friends and your family and them. They are not the one, are they? They are not Mr. Wisdom. You see, many people are hiding things from each other. But the more you hide things from each other, the more idiotic you become. Because Mr. Wisdom see all this. And the more you hide is the more confused you are, because you're not being honest, are you? You see, you should be learning the art of honesty to thyself. You see, because until you start to be honest to Mr. Wisdom, he's not going to teach you, like I'm telling you. And it is your negative behavior, just simple like I tell you, that dirty up your glass. So that if the water, what Mr. Wisdom is trying to teach you, come pouring into you, it get contaminated because thy container is not clean. You see what I mean? So you need to clean up your dirty ways so that Mr. Wisdom can enter, and then you can see this confusion that you've been living in and grow up as an adult instead of coming here and living all your life as an ignorant kid playing with toys. You say, well, put toys away and get serious. What is the matter with these lazy, cowardly human beings? Anyway, I say. And imagine that you're not cowards, but for some reason, I don't know who persuaded you, that Mr. Knowledge has convinced you that, yeah, man, you are cowards, man. So he's extinguished the fire within your own soul. But I'm giving you away now. It's time for you to light back, get that fire within yourself and get serious, and then you will be able to see all the problems around you and find a way out of it. Because there is a way out of it when you are under the guidance of Mr. Wisdom. Let me see what I mean. Oh, that's the only true guidance within the universe, So if you see that this dirty system is going to collapse then, and when I say system, I mean across the planet, because I deal with things universally, not country-wise. So when you get rid of all this rubbish now, you're going to replace it now with something that lasts. You see what I mean? That is when you bring the will of Mr. Wisdom into action, and then Mr. Wisdom will show you how to behave properly with the knowledge that you're going to learn. You learn even more, become more advanced, more developed. When you are under the guidance of Mr. Wisdom, anyone in the universe who don't choose to be under the guidance of Mr. Wisdom is living ignorantly within the universe. Who care how many galaxies they want to be away from here? That is irrelevant, if you know what I mean. Mr. Wisdom run it within the universe and within the beings of man. So now you don't bother think that because some man claim that they are professor this and they are bachelor, no matter what knowledge they have, Mr. Wisdom is beyond their range. You understand? I wonder if people really understand when I tell them that Mr. Wisdom is beyond their range. Like say when we say, welcome back to Firehouse. Firehouse is over in the land where Mr. Wisdom dwells. See, way beyond the land of Mr. Knowledge, beyond the regions of the mind. See, we deal with a bit of Mr. Wisdom teaches some galactic movements of the mind, if you know what I mean. That's what happens when you love Mr. Wisdom with all your heart and soul and mind and everything. Anything is possible. I don't know what is possible. I don't say why anything is possible, Mr. Wisdom. Teach you all kind of things, show you all kind of insights, if you know what I mean, about the correct way of living and understanding the universe. You know what I mean? The laws of it, you know what I mean? And seeing for yourself who the real master is, the real Dan Dada. The one that is everywhere present within all beings. No matter what you want to call the beings, you know what I mean? All that is irrelevant. That is the way that you want to develop yourself if you want to live as one, because we are one. So when you find Mr. Wisdom, you'll find the oneness of life, or the oneness of beings. You will no longer be confused by your body, innit? Like I'm telling you. It's so stupid, like you must think that because humans put on different clothes, that make them different people. They don't, they just have on different clothes. So you must think that because they got on different bodies, they are different people. No, fools, they just got on different bodies. But because you've been living in this the ignorance of knowledge, you know, you've never, the mind don't, like I say, rise to the heights to locate Mr. Wisdom, which would have clarified up all this ignorance from out of your being. So it is time for you human beings, like I'm saying, going into what you call the 2013, to if you want to get serious and understand the flex of life, it is time for you to face your own self and to make adjustment within thy own being, to clean up thyself. Because otherwise, if you don't clean up your own self, you are going to remain in ignorance and lack of wisdom, knowing who the master is. And if you don't know who the master is, you are a lost soul. And that's what has been transpired here. Those who have gone away from the master, return to the one. Yes, that is the message for the new year. So it's just leave for me now to say Happy New Year to you all on earth. Those who are striving and those who are not. If you are not striving, it is time for you to hear the word, or for your friend to run, come tell you. See me? Anyway, I is going to fire out from the firehouse now. See me? And go on chill. Rastafari, live it and read it in the fire. See it out.